Good morning, students. Yesterday we had discussed about the national income, the basic concept relating to national income like circular flow of income, domestic income and normal resident. Today we are going to discuss about the concept relating to the aggregates. National income and related aggregate is a wider concept because it includes various other concepts also. So before starting the topic, we should know the basic concept relating to the aggregates. First is okay. Now we are going to discuss about first net indirect tax. Well, basically net indirect tax is the difference between the indirect tax and subsidies. It is the difference between indirect tax and subsidies. In short form, we can write it like this: IT minus S. Here IT representing indirect tax and S is representing subsidies. Now indirect tax. Indirect tax are divided into two categories: direct tax and indirect tax. Direct tax, in which the liability to pay tax cannot be shifted. It means those taxes which are imposed on one person and liability to pay the tax is also imposed on same person is known as direct tax, whereas indirect tax are those taxes in which liability to pay tax can be shifted. These are those taxes in which liability to pay tax cannot be shifted on others. So these are those taxes in which the person on whom liability to pay tax is imposed and he is responsible for making payment of taxes. So in that case, the liability to pay tax cannot be shifted. For example, GST, goods and services tax. Whenever we purchase the commodity, you people have seen that the price are also written as the inclusive of all taxes. Here it means that some kind of taxes are included in the price of commodity by the producer and pass on the final consumer. The final consumer who purchased the commodity will have to pay the taxes along with the price of commodity. So these are the indirect taxes. Next is subsidies. It is the financial assistance provided by the government to the producers to produce goods and services. So basically subsidies, it refers to the financial assistance which is provided by the government to the producers to produce certain kind of goods. There are certain kind of goods which are essential for the people, and if such goods are available at the actual market price, then the poor people or the normal people are not able to purchase it. In that case, government give financial aid or assistance to the producer when they manufacturing the commodity, which helps to keep the price of commodity low in the market. So basically, when we have to calculate net indirect tax, we have to subtract the value of subsidies from the indirect tax, and the term is known as net indirect tax. So I hope the concept is clear to you that net indirect tax is the difference between indirect tax and subsidies. Indirect tax, it refers to those taxes in which liability to pay tax cannot be shifted. It means the impact and incidence of tax falls upon the same person. Subsidies, it refers to the financial aid given by the government to the producer to produce or manufacture the goods. Next concept. Gross investment. Here investment does not mean to keep your money or deposit your money in bank. Investment refers to the investment made in the capital goods. Capital goods are those goods which are used for the further production. Where gross investment are of two types. Investment in fixed assets, investment in financial assets. Financial assets means shares, capital, debentures, etc. So gross investment means the total investment. Total investment in capital goods. The total investment in capital goods. Capital goods are those goods which are used for further productions like machines, equipments, plants, building, etc. Next is net investment. Basically, net investment means the difference between gross investment and depreciation. Suppose if I have invested today 1 lakh rupees on purchasing of a machine. Now after 10 years the price of machine will reduce. So in that case the amount of depreciation, if I subtract from that 1 lakh rupees, get us net investment. For example, on 1st April 2014, the price of machine is rupees 1 lakh. The 1 lakh rupees on 1st April 2014 will term as gross investment. Now, suppose after 31st December 2014, the price of machine is rupees 60,000. Now 1 lakh rupees cost of machine becomes 60,000 in 31st December 2014. So during this period the value of machine has decreased. Why the value of machine is decreased? Because of depreciation. So if I subtract the value of depreciation from the gross investment made on machine will term as net investment. The gross investment on 1st April 2014 is 1 lakh rupees. Value of depreciation is subtracted, that is 40,000 rupees. We get the net investment, that is 60,000 rupees. So this is the term of gross investment and net investment. Again I am repeating, gross investment means total investment made on the capital goods. Net investment means when value of depreciation is subtracted from the gross investment is termed as net investment. There is a difference between the depreciation and capital loss. So what is the difference between both of them? We will discuss now. Depreciation and capital loss. Depreciation, it is the value of wear and tear of fixed assets which cause decrease their value. So basically depreciation means decrease in the value of fixed assets due to normal wear and tear, unexpected obsolescence, and due to the passage of the time. So three things comes in the depreciation. The causes, normal wear and tear, passage of the time, expected obsolescence, due to these three reasons, if the value of fixed assets decrease, the term is known as depreciation. For example, if I purchase a machinery on 1st April 2014, but due to the running of the machine, its parts get depreciated. So this is termed as normal wear and tear. Passage of the time, when the time passes, the price of the commodity decrease. The term is known as depreciation. Similarly, expected obsolescence, when the technology becomes obsolete, then the value of the machine or the capital goods decrease. The term is known as depreciation. But it is different from the capital loss. Capital loss, it refers to the decrease in the value of fixed assets due to natural calamity or unexpected obsolescence. So two reasons are responsible for fall in the value of fixed assets. One, natural calamity. Second, unexpected obsolescence. Suppose due to the heavy rain, the factory area or the plant premises is flooded with the water which destroy the machine. The term is known as capital loss, not depreciation. In the similar way, unexpected obsolescence, these kinds of the obsolescence which we don't know that can hamper the production process or can destroy the machine, the term is known as capital loss. So I hope the concept is clear to you that what is depreciation and what is capital loss. Depreciation does not hamper the production process, whereas capital loss hamper the production process. What does it mean? How depreciation does not hamper the production process, whereas capital loss hamper the production process? The reason is because in depreciation we make the provision, because we can make the provision or that after what time, after what period of time we have to replace our machinery. So in that case provision is made in depreciation. Made in depreciation. Whereas in capital loss, no provision is made. What does it mean? How the provision is made? In accounts, we make the depreciation account that clear us that after what time we are required to replace our machinery and we have to purchase the new machinery. So in that case, certain amount is kept so that we can replace the older machinery with the new one. So no, it does not hamper the production process because of making the provision of depreciation. Whereas in capital loss, we do not make any kind of provision, so it affects our production process. Suppose, for example, if due to the heavy rain or heavy flood, the factory area is flooded with water which affect the machinery. So in that case, we cannot purchase the machine or we do not have kept any kind of provision to replace the machinery. So this is the term as capital loss. So I hope the concept is clear to all of you that what is depreciation and what is capital loss. Depreciation fall in the value of fixed assets due to normal wear and tear, passage of the time and expected obsolescence. Whereas capital loss refers to the decrease in the value of fixed assets due to natural calamity and unexpected obsolescence. It does not hamper the production process because provision is made. Capital loss hampers the production process because no provision is made for capital loss. Now, the next concept relating to the aggregate is market price and factor cost. Market price. Market price, as the name clear itself, it refers to the price at which the commodity is available in the market. To the price at which commodity is available in the market. Whereas factor cost, as the name again clear itself, it refers to the price or cost incurred in the production or manufacturing the commodity. Now again, market price, it is the price at which commodity is available in the market, whereas factor cost, it is the price or cost which are incurred in the production of a commodity. The term is known as factor cost. For example, if Mr. X produce pen. Mr. X is the producer or the manufacturer of pen, and the cost incurred on the production of 100 pen is 1000 rupees, and the price at which pens are sold in the market is 1500. Now this is known as factor cost, the cost incurred in the production of commodity. तो 100 पेन प्रोड्यूस करने के लिए Mr. X has incurred 1000 rupees, and the price at which pens are sold in the market is 1500 rupees. That term is market price, MP. The difference is known as net indirect tax. To reach from factor cost on to the market price, we have to add net indirect tax, and if we want to reach from market price to factor cost, we have to subtract the value of NIT, net indirect tax. So these are the basic concept. If we have to discuss the aggregates, we have to go through this entire concept. The first is depreciation, next is market price, factor cost, gross investment and net investment. The next concept is net factor income from abroad. That is net factor income from abroad, which is the difference between factor income from abroad and the factor payment made to abroad. NFI, in short form, it is known as NFIA, net factor income from abroad. It is the difference between factor income received from abroad less factor payment made to abroad. So again I am repeating, net factor income from abroad is the difference between factor income, NFIA. Net factor income from abroad is the difference between factor income received from abroad and factor income paid to abroad. Factor income to abroad. The components of NFIA is also important, that what kind of income is received from abroad and what kind of income we pay to abroad. Components. First component is net compensation of employees. Net compensation of employees. It means whatever salary is received by Indian resident from abroad will come under the heading of factor income from abroad. Similarly, whatever salary the country is making a payment to the non-Indian resident will come under the heading of factor income to abroad. The term is net compensation of employees. Second, net income from property and entrepreneurship. Well, net income from property and entrepreneurship includes three basic terms: rent, interest, royalty and profit. It comes under the heading of income from property and entrepreneurship. So basically, what does it include? It includes the income by way of rent, interest, royalty, profit received by Indian resident from abroad and the similar payment made to non-Indian resident living in abroad. The term comes under the heading of factor income from abroad and factor income to abroad. The third concept is net retained earning. Again, net retained earning, it refers to the part of income which is kept by the Indian companies working in abroad is come under the heading of factor income from abroad. Similarly, the amount of profit which is kept by non-Indian resident companies operating in India comes under the heading of factor income to abroad. So the entire terms comes under the heading of net factor income from abroad. Again, I am recapitalizing the topic of NFIA. What is net factor income from abroad? It is the difference between factor income received from abroad and factor payment made to abroad. Term net factor income from abroad can be shortly write as NFIA, net factor income from abroad, which is the difference between FIFA means factor income from abroad minus factor income paid to abroad. NFIA has three major components: net compensation of employees, which means the salary received by Indian resident from abroad minus the salary paid to non-Indian resident to abroad. Net income from property and entrepreneurship, it refers to the income in the form of profit, rent, interest, profit received by the Indian resident companies from abroad and similar payment made to non-Indian resident companies to abroad. Last, net retained earning. It refers to the part of profit which is received by the resident companies from abroad and similar payment made to non-resident Indian companies to abroad. The term is known as or comes under the heading of NFIA. Now, so we have discussed about depreciation, we have discussed about market price, factor cost, we have discussed net indirect tax, we have discussed about NFI. These are required to understand basic concept relating to aggregates. So first we start with gross domestic product at market price. We can take the initial of these words G, D, P and MP. G, D, P and MP. So gross domestic product at market price refers to the money value of all final goods and services produced within the domestic territory of a country. This is GDP at MP. So again, what is gross domestic product at market price? It refers to the money value of all final goods and services produced within the domestic territory of country. It comes under the heading of GDP at MP. For example, India produced 1000 crore rupees value goods in India. So Indian producer has produced 1000 crore rupees value of goods in India. Money value of all final goods produced within the domestic territory of India or the country is termed as GDP at MP. Now, if I have to know what is GDP at FC, now in that case, suppose I have to calculate gross domestic product at factor cost. Now, GDP at MP is gross domestic product at market price, and I have to calculate, suppose, gross domestic product at factor cost. Now, in that case, market price to factor cost. So if I have to reach from market price to factor cost, I have to subtract the value of net indirect tax. Net indirect tax. So suppose the value of GDP at MP is 10,000 rupees and the value of net indirect tax is suppose 800 rupees. Now in that case, the amount of 9,200 rupees will termed as gross domestic product at factor cost. So these basic concepts, depreciation, market price, net factor cost, net indirect tax and NFI are required to understand the concepts of aggregates. We will discuss about these changes later on. Today what we have discussed, we have to go through the questions relating to the basic concept. I am giving these questions in homework and you people have to do in your homework notebook and submit me when you people reach school after your vacation. Homework. First, distinguish between depreciation and capital loss. Second, define net factor income from abroad with its components. What is net indirect tax? Define gross domestic product at market price. What is subsidies? Is machine always a capital? That's all for today. Distinguish between depreciation and capital loss. I am repeating, decrease in the value of fixed assets due to normal wear and tear, expected obsolescence and passage of the time. Decrease in the value of fixed assets due to the unexpected obsolescence and natural calamity is termed as capital loss. NFIA, it is a difference between factor income from abroad and factor income paid to abroad. Its components are net compensation of employees, net retained earning and net income from property and entrepreneurship. You have to explain all these components. What is net indirect tax? As net indirect tax is the difference between indirect tax and subsidies. GDP at MP, it refers to the money value of all final goods and services produced within the territory of an economy. Subsidies, it refers to the financial aid given by the government to the producer to produce the commodity. Is machine always a capital goods? It is a very good question and have been asked in board exam many times. Machine is always a capital goods. We had discussed that goods are of two types, consumer good and capital goods. Capital goods are those goods which are used in further production, whereas consumer goods are those goods which are used by the consumer. So in this case, machine is not necessarily always a capital goods. It may be a consumer good. For example, washing machine purchased by a laundry. The term is known as capital goods. But the same washing machine, if purchased by a family or housewife, will termed as consumer goods. So you people have to write, no, machine is not always a capital good. It depends on the use of the machine. For example, if machine is purchased by the manufacturer or the producer to produce goods, then it will be termed as capital goods. But if the same machine is purchased by a family or housewife, then it termed as consumer goods. That's all for today. We'll move for next topic after some time.